welcome back. Oh my gosh, what? Are you quacking? Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm doing my bi-weekly Shop My Stash, but I am doing it a little bit different this week. Normally you would see me rummaging through my vanity and that sort of thing. However, yesterday, when I normally pick all my products, my son was home from school and I wanted to pick my products, but I didn't know when I would actually be able to film this, if I could or not. So I have my products that I picked, and I'm going to show you what I picked. And we will go through the usual, what's it called? The Tiny Decisions app, where it picks my palettes. So we will see all that, and then I will show you what I picked for the next couple of weeks for my makeup. So that is how I'm doing it this week. Let me know in the comments below how you prefer it. I know traditionally we just see our hands and we're pulling makeup out, or do you prefer to see a face? And me just showing you it this way. I'd be curious to know what you all prefer. I know it's fun to take a peek inside the vanity and see what everyone has as well. So before I start things off for my Shop My Stash, I just wanted to mention something briefly, and I'm going to try not to break down and get emotional. But last week was a rough week for my family. My 18-year-old nephew, Nate, he passed away. He was battling cancer for just under a year. So anyway, it's been a tough few days. And where am I going with this? I do have a point. It's been a tough few days. You know, it's when I think about that he's gone, it's just a surreal feeling. You know, I lost my mom 8 years ago almost, and it's just completely different. And maybe it's just because I'm so far removed from 8 years ago and what happened, but I don't remember feeling this way at that time. All that to say, I'm not trying to bring anyone down or anything, but I know some of you, when I mentioned it back in, I believe May is when we first found out, and I mentioned it on here, and some of you, many of you were sending your thoughts and your prayers, and I appreciate that. And I just wanted to say, and I'm not apologizing for not doing this, and I'm not making excuses, I just wanted to say that I've been kind of absent for the last little while on YouTube with commenting, but I also wanted to say thank you so much for everyone that puts out content, because I have just been basically binge watching and zoning out, and it's kind of been a relief for me to have those videos, to just be there and to watch those things and to, I don't know, just be able to zone out and not think about what's going on and everything. So thank you for that as well. And I'm slowly getting back into the swing of things of trying to comment and stuff. Sometimes my mind gets away with me and yeah. Anyway, thank you. Okay. Should have probably worn waterproof mascara, but I think we're okay. Okay, so now, okay, thank you for letting me just take that time to talk to you all about that, and to thank you for your prayers and for your support, and again for just putting out that content. You never know how you're reaching someone, even something as simple and some people might think as unimportant as a makeup video. For me, it has been my relief for these last few days, so thank you. But now, moving into the reason for this video, my Shop My Stash. So basically, for my Shop My Stash videos, I do it the same as everyone else. Normally I'm at my vanity, I'm pulling things, and I just pull things randomly for 2 weeks worth of time. The only thing that I do different, if you are new here, you would not be aware of this. If you have been around for a while, you've heard this speech many times, but whenever I do my Shop My Stash videos, I use, how do I put that? So my So specifically for my eyeshadow palettes, those are the only things that I don't pick randomly. I let an app pick it for me. Every 2 weeks I use the app and pick out 6 palettes, and then I use those palettes for the next 2 weeks, and I don't reuse a palette until I've gone through my entire collection at least once. I have 120, 130 palettes, somewhere in that range, and so all the palettes feel all the love. And then if I'm really not feeling a connection with a palette or think that I'm going to be enjoying it anymore, that's when I usually declutter it from my collection, and I will usually mention that in the upcoming video. For this video, I don't have anything I'm getting rid of. I really enjoyed everything I used, so there's no real updates on any of those items. But moving on into the new ones. So the way I pick all of my eyeshadow palettes is I use the app Tiny Decisions. All of my apps are numbered. I'm not sure if that's going to focus or not, but yes, all of my palettes are numbered, and I have them all listed in a database on my computer, and then every 2 weeks I use the app Tiny Decisions. It picks my apps for me, and Bob's your uncle, I got my palettes for the next 2 weeks, and that's what I do. So we're going to get into me picking those palettes, and then I will show you what everything is. Yeah. Okay, hopefully this works this time around, because last time I did a Shop My Stash, it didn't. But we'll go for it anyway. $68. $128. $34. $86. $15, and the last one will be $30. Okay, let's go over to the database and see what we got picked. Okay, so we have the Pur Trolls Palette. Then we have, let's see, 128. The Violet Voss Sugar Crystals Palette. Then we have palette 34. Kaleidos Futurism 3. Palette number 86 is the Ccolor Cosmetics Feverish. And palette number 15 is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Carly Bible palette. And the last palette for the next couple of weeks, well, we have another Anastasia palette, and it is the Riviera palette. So I ended up actually switching things out a little bit, because the two Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes are actually ones that I'm using this year as part of my project panning. Every quarter I'm going to switch it out, and so the Carly Bible palette is the one that I'm going to be using for the springtime, and the Riviera palette is the one I'm planning on using for the summertime. So I didn't want to use those right now and then maybe not get around to using a couple of other palettes. So I put those back and I picked a couple more. So palette 37. And palette 13. Okay, let's go over to the database and just see what those are. So we have the Winky Luxe Kitten palette, which is 37. And then palette number 13 is the ColourPop in a Trance. I have no room here. I also enjoy doing crafts and stuff and like DIY home decor, and so I have paint and everything all around me right now. I'm trying to work around it because I forgot it was all out before I came down here to film. Anyway, so the palettes that were picked were the following. I have the ColourPop in a Trance palette, and this is what it looks like. One of my favorite colorful palettes, this is the Violet Voss Sugar Crystals palette, and it looks like this. I also the Kaleidos Futurism 3 Astro Pink palette was picked. This is one of my favorite out of the ones that I have from Kaleidos. We also have the Ccolor Cosmetics Feverish palette. It's going to play havoc with my lighting. And this is a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills, not Soft Glam, the other one. What's the other one? That was Holiday a couple years ago, and then they brought it back for a little bit. Anyway, it's a dupe for that one. I always forget what it's called. And then there is the Winky Luxe Kitten palette. Wow, speak English. And it looks like this. And the last one is by Pur. It's the Trolls palette. And it's what I'm actually wearing on my face, my eyes today. And I just kind of went in with this in my crease. And then I put this all over my lid, this kind of in the inner third of my lid. And I kind of deepened up the crease a bit with that. And then my lower lash line is this blue one. Oh, and I put this shade in my inner corner. Yeah, anyway, that's what I used. Okay, so those are the palettes. And then moving on up, because I would start at the bottom of my drawers and move up to, anyway, yeah. It makes no sense to you, but it makes sense to me. I have a contour palette. It's the Kevyn Aucoin. Which one is this? The Contour Book, The Art of Sculpting and Defining, Volume 3. And I'm kind of trying to work on this medium shade a little bit to finish it off completely. I'm not getting much out of it, and then I'm using this as well. This contour shade I really like for the winter time. I love these as well. I always forget to use them though, but you know, maybe I'll use them this week. We'll see. That's the plan anyway. I also pulled out the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Sculpture Palette. If you haven't seen it yet, this was from Holiday 2020. So I've been using this. I don't have this on my face though. I used this today for the contour. I'll try and remember to mention everything I used if it's down here. Then I have this Wet n Wild ColorIcon Trio in the shades, or in the Sunset Junction. And I used all of these on my face today as my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight. These have been discontinued for years and years now, but I still have them, and I've hit pan like pretty good. Well, almost. You can see like the little nubby things in the blush or the bronzer and the highlighter, and there's a little bit going on in here, so there's lots of dips in this. Okay, for blush I also picked this Hourglass Ambient Lighting blush. This is in the shade Luminous Flush, and I have the Note Cosmetics Desert Rose blush. Looks like this. And the Jessica Vintage by Jessica Lieberskin Luminating Face Highlighter in Rose Gold. And it looks much more intimidating than it is when you wear it, but it is such, that swatch did nothing. It's a very powdery formula, but these, I have a few of these highlights that I got in BoxyCharm. And I mean, it doesn't look as intimidating when you blend it out, but these, they're powdery, but they just do something magical on the skin. These are highly underrated. I don't even know if you can get them anymore, because I've had them for a few years, but the quality on these, they just look so beautiful on the skin. I have the Revolution Skin Kiss. This is in the shade Pink Kiss, and it looks like that. And then the last couple of items are a couple of powders here. I am using the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Press Powder in the shade Beige L4M1. And another product that I'm really enjoying is the e.l.f. Prime and Stay finishing powder. This is in the shade Light Medium. And it's just simple, plain packaging. I think I got this for free with one of my orders, and it's really nice. It works really nice as a finishing powder. It just kind of smooths out everything on the skin, gives that kind of airbrush look. I used this under my eyes today, and I really liked how it worked as well. So yeah, that is everything I have in this week. No, this 2 weeks, bi-weekly. This is everything in my bi-weekly Shop My Stash. Yes. Let me know in the comments below how you are doing, and yeah, do you enjoy this style of Shop My Stash, or do you prefer just to see my hands getting into everything? I would like to know. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.